Hello and welcome to this video on developing a solid research question for your PhD program. In this video, I'll be sharing some tips and strategies about how to help you create a solid research question and how to make that both clear and impactful, whether it be for a master's project, PhD, bachelor's degree or general project. My research has looked at how to navigate the world of academia. So I know firsthand how your personal background, mentorship and academic structures can really affect one's professional and scientific identity. But the first step in developing a research question is to identify a gap within the literature. Well, what this means is finding a gap in an area of research that has not been fully explored or where there is a need for further investigation. You can start this by researching existing work in your field and identifying areas where more work is needed. Once you've identified this gap, you can start to develop your own research question and your own investigation into the topic. One helpful tool for helping you create a research question is the PICO framework. PICO stands for Population, Intervention, Comparison and Outcome. Considering each component, you can refine and reflect on your research question and really help develop it further. For example, if your research is looking at developing a new teaching method within the life science or biological science curriculum, your PICO components might be population, looking at high school students in the life sciences. Intervention, it might be your new teaching method. Comparison to existing teaching methods. And your outcome, improving student learning outcomes. Now, by considering each of these components, you can start to develop a clear and more focused research question, such as how does developing a new teaching method impact student learning outcomes? Once you've got this, you can then add more to it, make it more specific for fields such as learning outcomes in biology or teaching methods in the natural sciences. But developing a research question is just the first steps. It's also important to consider your project's overall aims and objectives. Your aims and objectives, after all, are critical components of any research as they help define your research scope and they provide a clear roadmap for achieving your research goals. Your aim is your overarching goal, the main focus of your project, while your objectives are the specific steps that you're looking for to achieve your goal. Aims and objectives should always be clear, concise and measurable, and it's something that will help to determine your progress as you progress through your project, whether you've reached your research goals or whether you still need to work towards them. Now, by considering the funder's motivations and ensuring that your research aligns with their goals, you can increase your chances of both securing funding and significantly having an impact on your field and supporting your funder's overall objectives. It's also important to discuss your ideas with your PhD supervisors. These are people who are valuable resources for providing you feedback and helping you refine and define your research objectives and questions. Finally, it's important to consider your research's practical implications. Consider the feasibility of your project, the time and resources that are going to be required to achieve your aims, and really look at the practical implications. What are the tools that you need? How are you going to actually achieve your research project? Is it feasible? And by assessing this and asking yourselves these questions, this can really help you define whether your project will be successful. Now, helpful tools that you might use to really work towards your success might be concept maps or mind mapping tools. Mind map is generally starting from an original idea, so that might be your research question, and going outward and branching into new ideas or thoughts. Whereas a concept map is an interconnected web of ideas and how the relationships of these thoughts and ideas really interact with each other, and these generally will help you define your sub-questions and your sub-research ideas. Now, it's also really important to think of how, if you're looking at tools that can support that will be tools such as CMAP tools or MapMeister if you're looking at tools that will help you develop your own concept map or your own mind map. But also, you need to think about working with others around you, getting feedback from them on your ideas and where it's going to, and very much these research questions should always be treated as a fluid and ever developing. Potentially throughout your project you will see many different iterations of sub-questions and research questions, and you might explore different areas that you might not have time to explore in your PhD, master's or undergrad project. Therefore, you might want to park some of those ideas and come back to them at a later point. Now, as always, thank you for listening to this video, and hopefully the tips have been useful for you. Do think about how they can support your ideas and how you can directly apply them to your own project, whether you're at the early stage or even at the later stage, refining those ideas. Follow and like this video for more tips to help you in academia and in education. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.